Do the Ravens send Ray on his way the right way with a second ring? Or does Jim best John in the battle of the Harbaughs? Mark Rogers TV on Super Bowl 47. Ravens and Niners, let's break it down position by position, starting at quarterback. And the classic pocket passer, Joe Flacco. He throws the ball downfield. He doesn't like to dink and dunk. The completion percentage may not be up with the elite of the NFL, but he makes big plays, 8 touchdowns, no picks in the postseason. Joe Flacco could become, with 3 touchdown passes, the all-time leader, along with Joe Montana with 11 touchdown passes in the postseason against 0 picks. And of course, he's got the big comeback against the Denver Broncos. And going back even to last season in the AFC Championship game loss, he did everything he possibly could do, made all the right plays on that last drive and put the ball right in Lee Evans' hands to win the game. So I think Baltimore Ravens fans have to be comfortable with Joe Flacco with his hands on the football, down by 4, 2 minutes left to play. He can make the throws. Could have a low completion percentage in this game, but it's going to come down to big plays in the passing game, and I believe that the key to this game is the Baltimore offensive line protecting Joe Flacco. And it's a revamped, a reworked Baltimore offensive line with Bryant McKinnie coming off the bench during the postseason to take over at left tackle, former #1 pick. Kelechi Osemele went from right tackle to left guard. Matt Burke and Marshall Yanda stayed in their positions at right guard and center. Michael Orr from left tackle to right tackle. So it's a reworked offensive line for Baltimore. I believe the key to the game is protecting Flacco. He needs time. He's not a very mobile quarterback. He moves well in the pocket, but he needs time to get the ball up top to Jacoby Jones and most notably Torrey Smith. And of course, Anquan Boldin's going to be counted on to make the tough catches and the third down conversions underneath. This is the key to the game. San Francisco getting pressure with, of course, Aldon Smith, 19.5 sacks, but shutout in the postseason. Justin Smith is key because of that. On the right end, Justin Smith has had an exceptional 12-year career with the Bengals and Niners. Hurt most of the season, going to play with an elbow brace. He needs to help out Aldon Smith on the right side while Ahmad Brooks gets pressure along with Ray McDonald off the left side for San Francisco. And despite the Niners having one of the best defenses in the NFL, my opinion, the best defense in the NFL, they don't get a ton of pressure on the quarterback. They fell behind Matt Ryan and the Falcons last week, 17-0. So Flacco needs time, and he could burn the Niners if he gets that time with Torrey Smith getting deep. Offensive line for San Francisco, a big advantage here. The Niners are physical. They're well orchestrated, especially in the running game with out of the pistol formation, getting Kaepernick to the outside, Frank Gore to the inside, 1,200 yards for Gore this season, one of the great runners in the NFL. Joe Staley and Alex Boone lead again a very gifted offensive line for San Francisco. Well orchestrated, well-oiled machine, probably the best unit across the board. All 5 started, all 16 make it 18 games through the postseason for the Niners. As we mentioned, Justin Smith, a big key in this game to take pressure off Aldon Smith because the Niners have to get pressure on Joe Flacco. Ray Lewis, can he cover sideline to sideline as Kaepernick will either run it, as he did against the Packers with 181 yards, as the Packers could not contain him with Clay Matthews, or does he give it to Frank Gore, and Gore racked up the big game against the Atlanta Falcons with Kaepernick, which just 23 yards, but he showed again that he can throw the football. We keep expecting the pressure to get to the young starter, but after 9 regular season starts, 2 in the postseason, and coming back from 17-0 in the NFC Championship game, I believe he's pretty unflappable at this point. Only Tom Brady and Vince Ferragamo came into the big game with less career starts. Brady played very well, led the Super Bowl game-winning drive. Ferragamo played very well in 1980 against the Pittsburgh Steelers with less experience. San Francisco, again, defensively, 2nd in points per game, 3rd in yards per game. That's key. The San Francisco defense is exceptional. Believe that the Niners have a better team overall. If you go position by position, unit by unit, they have the better football team. The things that concern me here, though, is I don't believe San Francisco, unlike Baltimore, has a deep threat to stretch the Ravens' defense. Mario Manningham hurt Of course, not playing the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season, that extremely cripples the San Francisco offense in trying to stretch the field. Of course, Randy Moss, the greatest of all time, or so he says, certainly not the greatest in the NFL right now. He poses just a bit of a threat at 15.5 yards per catch. Michael Crabtree's exceptional, but most of the stuff is underneath and converting third downs. The Niners can't stretch the field. So that's my one concern with the offense for San Francisco in producing points against Baltimore. Also, again, believe that Flacco is reliable with his hands on the football late in the game and converting big plays and making the big throw up top. So I think the Ravens could get shut down mostly by the Niners, but break through with a few big throws to keep themselves in the game and set up a fourth quarter for Joe Flacco. Also of concern for San Francisco is kicking. David Akers missed 14 field goals, including a 38-yarder in the NFC Championship game, the most missed field goals in the NFL this season. The 6-time Pro Bowler, not what he used to be, coming off surgery in the offseason. Justin Tucker, though, very reliable for the Baltimore Ravens, 4 for 4 from plus 50 yards, 32 of 35 on the season. I believe the Niners have the better team. Maybe the Ravens have the mojo, the quarterback, and the circumstances with the kicker and the special teams with Jacoby Jones to make it happen. Regardless, like the Niners in this one, San Francisco 27, Baltimore 20 in Super Bowl 47. Now I need to hear from you, your analysis, your pick, right here on Mark Rogers TV.